Hello there, my name is Ben Walker and I'm working with Promise Yourself to tell you about the things that we're just not taught about at school. So this could be things for mortgages, finance related, taxes, debts, all this stuff that we all need to learn but we're just not taught. And today I'm talking about savings. Now, saving money can seem like a very easy thing to do, but in reality it can be very difficult. You see something, you want it, you buy it. It's very easy to spend all your money. So instead, what we're going to do in this guide is go through a few of the things that can help you save a little bit of money. Now, the first thing that you want to do is manage your money. You need to know if you're wasting any money on anything. For example, maybe 5 years ago, you started up a direct debit to pay a charity £5 a month, but now you can't afford that, but you've just ignored this direct debit for so long that you've completely forgotten about it. Well, that £5 a month can end up saving you a whole lot of money if you do cancel it. Like, of course, it's great to give to charity, but if you can't afford to, then don't. Only give what you can afford. So you need to go through all your outgoings, make sure you're not, wasting money left, right and centre. And that brings me on to the next topic, which is actually managing your outgoings. Now, this is essentially the same as budgeting, and I've got a whole post and video on budgeting that you should go have a look at if you want to know more about this section. But essentially what you want to do is make sure you're spending your money on the right things. So instead of spending £200 on food a week, which is quite a lot of money, you're going to want to be spending a lot less. I know quite a few people who go out for very regular takeaways, and that can cost you a lot of money. So once you know exactly where your money's going and you set out a budgeting plan, you'll be able to take control of your money and your finances, which will then help you be a little bit more financially secure. And then you can start thinking about how much you want to save. Because the whole reason that people try and budget is either to save or to pay off their debts. Now that brings me on to the next section, which is managing your debts. Now, some people have more debts than others, obviously, and one quite common debt is credit card debt. Now, again, I've got a whole post and video about credit cards, and I've got another post and video about debt, which will be coming out soon. So if you want to know more about this, go to those posts and you can learn plenty more. But credit cards essentially are a great tool for buying things so long as you don't get into debt. If you do get into debt, there are routes out. So I highly recommend having a shop around, seeing what you can find, talk to an advisor, there's free debt advice all over the place, and talk to your friends and family who might be able to give you a few tips and tricks that could help lead you back into the green. So just make sure you are paying attention and not getting yourself into debt. If you are getting into debt, there are places you can get advice that can help you manage your debts, give you some situations that can maybe help you start paying off your debt. So I'll put a link into some of these websites, and also I've got, like I said, there'll be a whole post and video on debt as well. Now, one thing that people tend to use quite often already is price comparison sites. Now, these things are fantastic because basically they go out there and they do most of the searching for you. Now, chances are there will be a cheaper deal somewhere, but if you're using a price comparison site, you're going to get a pretty good deal. So don't be afraid to go on these for literally anything you can. So phone contracts, insurance, car insurance, just literally everything. Get on a price comparison website, find out the cheapest offer, and even then, if you want to do some more research, go for it. Make sure you're just saving as much money as you can any way you can. So next I'm going to talk about watching what you buy. Now, I've already mentioned, of course, going out and buying food, but if you can save £20 a week on food, at the end that's going to be over £1,000 a year. That's a massive amount of money. So if you're really careful and you're just cutting back using supermarket owned brands, for example, which are often as good if not better than branded products, then you can end up saving a whole load of cash there. Now, of course, as well, there is subscriptions. Now, in the modern day life, you have subscriptions for pretty much everything. There's Netflix, Amazon, Disney, Spotify as well. But more often than not, you can actually get big family packages that can save you a whole load of money. For example, Spotify for one person is $9.99. It's not that cheap, it sounds quite expensive to me, But a Spotify family, which allows up to 6 people, so long as you're from the same family and same address, up to 6 people on one account for $16.99. Now, if those 6 people all had their own accounts, that's 60 quid. But Spotify family, you're saving over £40 right there. Again, a massive, massive saving. Now, of course, it's becoming a lot more common recently, but loads and loads of people love to go out on their way to work and pick up a coffee from a coffee shop. Now, let's say that coffee costs £3 each time, and you get one every day you go to work, 5 days a week. So you're having a £3 coffee 5 days a week, every week for the entire year. Now, that's going to cost over £700 for that entire year. Again, it's a massive amount of money. Now, of course, you can get yourself a coffee as a treat. You know, it doesn't have to be something that you just completely deprive yourself from. But if you make your own coffee at home, take it with you, or make coffee at work, it can save you a whole load of money. It's certainly worth thinking about. Even if you end up not doing it, you have to consider all these things if you do really want to save. Now, of course, as well, there's vouchers. There's vouchers everywhere. There's vouchers for everything, and they can end up helping you a lot too. More often than not, we all throw away our vouchers because we just think they're not going to be helping us that much. But if they're used correctly, they can really, really, really help. So what I tend to do nowadays is I just keep all my vouchers, and then if I am going to use one, or if I'm going to do something that has a voucher, then I'm already sorted. And then once it expires, you can just throw it away, or you can make a special point of trying to use that voucher up before it expires. Either way works, but keeping those vouchers for when they are useful can be great too. Now, also many businesses offer loyalty schemes, which essentially is just giving you free stuff for stuff you were already going to do. So I don't really see the point in not getting involved in these loyalty schemes so long as you're not paying a subscription fee for them. But for example, the Nectar card that you get with Sainsbury's and all these kind of things that you can just easily use with just a swipe or of a card, or you just put some information in, and again, sometimes you often just get points that you can then redeem for food or get money back. It's again, it's essentially, I don't want to. It's not free money, but it's a reward. It's a reward for you shopping with someone and doing something you're already going to do. So again, I don't think you should go out your way to use reward schemes. Don't go to a specific shop, even if it's more expensive, just because they have a really good scheme. Do what you're already going to do, and then if they do have a reward scheme in there, definitely get involved in that. Next, I'm going to go on to cycling, and I'm not personally a fan of cycling. I really don't like it, but it can save you a lot of money. Now, over the last couple of years, if you average it out, petrol car drivers spend roughly £1,200, £1,300 a year on average on petrol. Now, of course, now those prices will probably be a bit more wonky, but you can pick up a fairly decent second-hand road bike for under £100. Or if you want to splash out a little bit more, you can get, because you don't have to go for top of the range things to get you from A to B. So even in your first year of just cycling, you can end up saving hundreds and hundreds of pounds. So again, it's not a thing that can be dismissed out of hand, and also it's keeping you healthy and all of that stuff. It's great for the environment too, and plenty of cardio. But of course, if you really don't want to ride a bike, there are other options. For example, just getting the bus everywhere instead, busing into work and stuff like that, which I'm sure many people do. But if you're one of those guys or girls who likes to drive everywhere, maybe reconsider that. Now, also selling your old clothes. Now, that's become much bigger over the last few years. You've got all these apps like Depop and Vinted, or you can just whack something on eBay or Facebook Marketplace. If you have a proper good clear out of your wardrobe and you decide that you don't need 10 items, put them all for sale, and who knows, you could get £100 for the 10, you could get £50 for the 10. Even if you only get £1 for each, that's still another tenner in your back pocket. So selling clothes instead of throwing away is just a smarter way to go. You don't want to be just throwing all these clothes away, because as well as the fact that you can make some money from it, there's people who could just use the stuff that you are getting rid of. So even if you are throwing away and you don't want to sell, take it to a charity shop instead. and that way people can still make good use of the stuff that you used to have. Now the final thing I'm going to talk about is fixing rather than repairing. Now nowadays it feels like everything is designed to break after a few years, but fortunately there's thousands upon thousands of YouTube tutorials on how to fix loads of different stuff. So if you have something and it breaks, don't panic, don't worry. See if you can fix it first and see how much it would cost to fix it. For example, if you have a desk, the desk leg breaks, you think, oh no, I'd have to get a new desk. Maybe you don't, maybe you just need to put a couple of screws in the desk and it'd be good as gold. So just make sure you're not throwing things away unnecessarily, put the research in, find out if you can fix stuff. For items such as phones and laptops, obviously it's going to be a little bit more difficult. But for other things, you could genuinely fix things and actually save some money, because things are getting ridiculously expensive nowadays. So if you can save money, absolutely go for it. So basically all I've done here today is I've just gone through a few tips and a few things that could help you save money. If you're already doing those things, great, fantastic, good on you. And if you still want to find out how to save more money, of course, all I can say then is just do the research, find out where you can cut expenses out of your life. But if any of these things are going to be good for you and you think you can take advantage of them and use them, put a comment down below, and like and subscribe of course, because that does actually really help. Hopefully you've learned something. My name's been Ben Walker, and I'll see you again next time.